Hi all, this is Allmighty and welcome to this video. Since for the last week I have been actually covering the games from the old masters, I've decided that maybe this week it could be a week of the new masters, so to speak. Because this is the time when the Gashimov Memorial is played and also the US Championship, and I've seen some interesting games and said why not, let's just do it this week. So today I actually bring you a very good thing. For most of you guys, I thought that you would be very happy to see Magnus Carlsen win for the first time in the Gashimov Memorial in round 5. Today he played against Radoslaw Wojtaszek, a very strong Polish grandmaster. So after a lot of draws, we see a win. So let me just show you how he did it. We have we saw a Sicilian game, so e4 c5, and now Carlsen kind of his thing as of late, going into this close variation systems with playing moves such as d3 in the opening in the Sicilian, or b3, going into these variations that probably isn't one of the main lines where most of these guys are very well versed, know all the variations. He is going into some of these lines in order to kind of knock them off their preparation, and I guess he feels really comfortable playing them because I think after 20 moves Wojtaszek was under 20 minutes and Magnus still had an hour and a half on the clock. So let's just see how they played. We saw d6 and now d4 even. C captures, queen captures on d4, and after knight to c6, attack with tempo, queen to d2. A similar setup we actually saw in a game where Caruana played the Petrov, and he played in also, I think it was the 5th move, queen to d7, having the bishop on c8. And a clear idea behind it is that you want to develop your bishop playing b3 and bishop to b2, like in that game playing b6 and bishop to b7. So similar ideas, having a strong bishop on this very good diagonal. Wojtaszek decided, okay, first knight to f6, and after b3 he plays e6. So not going with the dragon system, having a dragon on g7, he decided to go into some kind of a Scheveningen setup, and also, of course, in the next move after bishop to b2 he plays a6. Stopping knight to b5 ideas, because after e6 this pawn isn't the strongest in the bunch. So we have queenside castle right away, and a little bit different here than the usual Sicilian, because you have bishop on b2. And is it a weakness or a strength? Yeah, it really depends on how black approaches this position. My experience is it could be a weakness and a strength, to be honest, because black can go for a couple of options. Because he didn't go for bishop to g7, he will have to find a way how to actually attack on the c file and take advantage of the weakness of the c3 knight being here, not guarded by the pawn. King will of course have to go on b1, but now after b5 black has a very strong attack and a very fast attack. So let's see what Carlsen does. He plays f3 and now h5, stopping g4. So we have knight to h3, and because h5 was played, now knight to g5 seems like a very good idea. Bishop to e7 and knight to g5. And now h4 by Wojtaszek. So the main idea behind this move is not to allow h4 be played by Carlsen, because now probably Wojtaszek will go for some knight discoveries. Okay, at the moment he played h4 because there aren't any good ones, but now if he plays it, he can threaten to capture the knight with the with the bishop, because the queen is also attacking and only the queen is guarding the knight here. So here Carlsen played f4, and we have bishop to b7. King to b1, always a good move in the Sicilian when you go queenside castle, and now rook to c8. Only in a couple of moves now black will just set up a lot of pieces on the c file and go for the attack. We have bishop to e2 and queen to c7. Rook from h to e1, and Carlsen decides to attack in the center, while Wojtaszek is building up a queenside attack. We have knight to h7, and the main idea is getting rid of this knight, but this actually is a bad move in this position. First, Carlsen plays knight captures on h7 and rook captures on h7, and as it seems, black king is still in the center, and the best move here was actually to play knight to d5. Carlsen didn't play it, but this move would probably bring him a very good victory, and a very fast one, because after pawn takes, it isn't all that clear yet. Now you have to find a place where you will put your knight. There are a couple of options. In the end, knight to d8 seems like the best one, because even if there is an attack on the e file, knight to e6 could be a helpful resource. After that, something like bishop to g4 can be played, attacking this rook. Rook doesn't move because you would like to move the king out of the e file. King to f8, and now queen to e2, still wanting to attack here the bishop. Rook moves to b8 now, and now rook to d3, with an idea having rook to e3 options, rook to c3 attacking the queen, a lot of things. So it really depends on what you do. If bishop takes on d5, you capture with the rook. If you play something like rook to h8, there is always rook to e3. Bishop cannot move because rook to e8 is checkmate. And if you play something like, I don't know, f6, just stopping all these threats, also rook to c3 is an idea. I mean, stopping threats and also having an outpost for the king to go somewhere. Now the queen has to move somewhere, and in the end, this bishop will fall. So quite a problematic position here for black. But Carlsen didn't go for it. It was hard to calculate, and also I think he didn't spend too much time here. He played g4. We have h captures and h captures, and after that bishop to f6. And now, and after all this, we have bishop to d3. But actually, I wanted to go through one of the variations that seems kind of logical and natural after bishop to f6. Is queen to d6 good? Now, for example, if queen takes, rook takes, you have this knight to b4, and yeah, this is attacked twice, so you have to play e5, bishop to e7, and rook goes back on d2. Now you attack the pawn on h3, white defense, but bishop to c5. And now you have to play something like bishop to g4, attacking the other rook, and if this rook moves, you can move your rook because the pawn isn't attacked or anything. So, for example, this capture is possible, this capture, and now you can attack the rook or something, but in the end, white can defend the pawn, and he is a pawn up. So he could have gone for this, but here Carlsen decided to play bishop to d3. The knight is attacked, and he wants to stabilize the defense on the e4 pawn, and now rook to h8, so going out of the way, because e5 is also a threat. g4 now, and here after knight to d4, it seems that black has resolved a lot of his problems, because now there is a really good attack on this diagonal with the bishop, and the knight is threatening to jump on f3. So rook to e3 is played, and now king to f8, moving out of the e file, and now knight to e2. It is the easiest approach because, yeah, this problematic knight, without having the pawn on b2 but having the bishop, could pose a big problem for Carlsen's defense. So he plays knight to e2 to exchange. Knight captures and rook captures, and now bishop to c3. Not capturing on b2 right away, but first attacking the queen. Bishop captures and queen captures, and now queen to e3. So Carlsen doesn't want to exchange pieces. Rook to c5. Probably a better approach was queen to c5, because now e5 is an option. So you want to open up the position, and if the rook moves, you immediately go in with the queen. Pawn captures, and after this a rook to h1. Already here Wojtaszek was in time trouble, as I said in the beginning of the video. Carlsen, after playing quite often these kinds of systems in lower time controls, and also it seems in classical time controls, he feels really comfortable. So most of his moves were done really fast in the opening. So here already Wojtaszek is in time trouble, and he needs to find the best way how to go to the end game, or he needs to reach the 40th move to reach time control. So he plays rook to h1 here, and he misses a simple tactic in the position. Rook captures, bishop captures, and now rook to h2. Now rook to h8 is a big threat, with queen to g5 going into mating ideas. So here we saw rook to e5 captures, and now rook to h8 check. King has to go to e7, and after queen to a7, Wojtaszek actually resigned the game. The main reason is that you will lose material, or you will even get checkmated. So going to d6 would result in a quick checkmate in a couple of moves, something like this. King to c7, and now this very famous approach of checkmating. You could go also for the capturing of the queen here instead of rook to c8 if you don't want to calculate the checkmate ideas. And a better move is, of course, king to f6, but now you have queen to f2 or even g5. If rook captures, then rook can just capture on h1, because when the rook was in e5, there is this rook to e1 idea of checkmate, of course. So if you capture the rook, then black would exchange the rooks and have ideas of the perpetual checks. So g5 is correct here, and after this there is no rook to e1, rook to g1 of course doesn't work, and here, yeah, you have to play something like g6, rook to f1, and now you have to even block in because f7 is a threat. And after these exchanges, this is just a rook up, an easy winning game, definitely for Carlsen at least. So here, yeah, if king captures, then yeah, queen to e7. It could be possible. If f6, then queen to g7. So you play queen to f4, queen to h4, king to e3, queen to g3, king to d4, and now queen to f4. All of these checks that, sorry, not that, but queen to f2. So all of these checks so that king cannot go anywhere. In the end, you are defending on e1, rook to h1 is possible, and yeah, just for black, not a lot of options, so Wojtaszek resigned the game. So yeah, we had the first win from the world champion in the Gashimov Memorial. Yeah, very good variation. So obviously a system there where he feels comfortable, while some of his opponents are still yet to get used to it. Yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I would like to thank you for watching it, and I will see you next time.